Hey, I'm James Wilson. I have been leading in churches from 800 people to over 2,000 people for the past 11 years. I'm an executive pastor now. I oversee my staff and also help manage their budgets. I have a master's in organizational leadership, and I also founded a consulting firm that works with CEOs to help them stop being the bottleneck in their organization. Now, why do I go through all of that? Well, number one, so you know that I know what I'm talking about. But also, number two, because in this video, I'm going to share with you 10 years, actually, excuse me, 11 years of leadership secrets for you in 20 minutes or less. 11 years of hard work leadership secrets for you in 20 minutes. So buckle up. These are to help you, these are to catapult you in your business or you on your teams. And this is all gas, no brakes, just all value for you. So let's go ahead and start with number one. One of the biggest things that I learned in the 11 years of leadership is this. Number one is stop being the hero. Stop trying to be the hero. Now, this is extremely important because the more you try to be the hero, is when you try to take care of everything for everybody. Now, when I first started my leadership journey, there I was. I was trying to help people. I was trying to help everybody. I was trying to help part-time members, full-time staff, volunteers, you name it. I'm trying to do the job for everybody. Why? Because not just because like I wanted people to like me, but it's like I want to help. I'm a helper. And so, hey, let me help you by helping you get the job done. And with that, I was trying to be the hero. And sure, I helped some people achieve some goals or achieve some KPIs, some key performance indicators. But at the same time, I was tired, right? I was gassed because I spent so much energy trying to help everybody else. It's like, man, I need to do my own job. Now, I can help, but I cannot do it for you. So, you are not supposed to be the hero. You need to stop trying to be the hero of your business, of your team, or whatever the case is, because that's not what you're supposed to do. That's not really what leadership is. Leadership isn't about you being the hero, it's more about you being the guide and to guide those who you lead so that they can be better and to develop them. That's what it's all about. So, number one, stop being the hero. Number two, this is a big one right here. Number two is you have to let go of control. Now, this may seem weird at first of, well, what do you mean let go of control? Well, let me help you out with this because right here is my lovely graph. On one side, you have control. Okay, this is the control. But on the bottom, you have the effectiveness. So the higher the control is, as you see, here's the X, then you could have a lot of effectiveness. But the truth is, the higher the control, the lower the effectiveness is too tight. It doesn't get to go anywhere. You're not as effective. So sure, you can control everything. You can control your team. You can control the decisions. You can control the vision. You can control the operations, the implementation, all the things. But at the same time, your team is not going to be very effective. However, if you lower that control, your team will actually skyrocket in effectiveness. So, if you lower control, you will actually increase effectiveness. Now, I know that kind of seems a little odd on like first glance, but it's extremely important because this right here, this is the gap. Like this gap right here, I call it a zone of destruction because it will either or zod, right, zone of destruction, because if you can't understand as a leader how to let go and allow your team to make decisions, allow them to take charge and to own things, then they're never going to be effective. Why? Well, because you are holding everything so tight, so close that they are going to be smothered, and you will never be able to lead an A player by having a lot of control. That's not going to happen. A players do not want to be controlled. They're saying, "Give me the ball, let me know what I need. I'll get back with you when I'm done." That's exactly what an A player does. So that's number two: is you have to let go of control. It's extremely important. Again, micromanaging just screams, "I don't trust you." All right, but you have to equip your people and then allow them to be empowered so that they can get it done. Don't control them. Let go of control. Secret number three is this: say I don't know. Like there were so many times in my leadership journey to where like I was being asked a question or we were in a situation. So when I was overseeing two different teams in two different locations, and I'll never forget it, like we were starting one up from scratch, and we were already having multiple services at our primary location, and so it was this thing of like, okay, how can I make sure that something's getting done 20 minutes away? I'm not there, and I'm only going to show up there later, but then I also got to get back. Like it was extremely confusing. And my teams, they were asking me, what am I going to do? What do we do? How do we get these things done? And I was like, hey, I don't know, right? I have no idea. But the best part about that is, when you admit that you have, like a capacity, right? Or when you don't know, you're being vulnerable, it actually builds trust among your team. They understand that you're not perfect, and they understand you're not going to be right all the time, but they are willing to follow you even when you make mistakes. So again, say, I don't know. It's not a bad thing that you don't know everything. And actually, this is from the book of Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 2. When pride comes, then comes disgrace. But with the humble is wisdom. So don't be prideful in the moments to where your team's asking you something and you genuinely have no idea. And you're just going to fake it until you make it, or you're just going to say something you probably shouldn't say. Instead, just say you don't know and just show them humility. Show them the wisdom of sometimes saying, I don't know. Number four, oh, this is such a good one right here. Number four, patience with the pace. Now, what does that mean? Patience with the pace. Number four, patience with the pace is this. In leadership, you have to decide what type of leader you want to be and what type of speed do you want to lead. All right. Now, here's the thing. If you don't slow down with your team, this is going to happen. You are going to have a house that's on fire. Your organization is going to burn so fast, you're not going to know what hit you. The reason is because you are moving so fast, you're making decisions so fast that your team can't catch up with you. They don't know what you're doing. They don't know where you're going. They don't know why you're doing it. Now, I understand there are times where you have to make decisions fast and your team, they can't like know everything, but that can't be all the time, right? Like you literally can't always keep your team in the dark all the time. So if you don't know how to slow down and be patient, then you are going to have a catastrophe. Because again, you're going to frustrate your team. They're going to get sick and tired of not knowing what to do. And then you holding them to unrealistic expectations that they don't even know what you want them to do or how to do it. So you have to make sure to slow down. I understand you want to go fast. I understand the quote, speed of the leader, speed of the team. I totally get it. But at the same time, there is the counter quote of if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Remember that. Number five, the fifth secret is this: invest in high performers. Don't pour all of your energy into the lowest performers. And again, I understand, hey, whoa, wait, whoa, don't get mad at me, all right? But there is a difference between a high performer and a low performer. It is what it is. Now, here's the thing that I wanted to show through, well, with this is that the more time you spend with a high performer, their performance will continue to increase. But the sad thing is, with a low performer, the more time you spend with them, their performance does not increase. It just mellows out. Like that's it. There's no the capacity is done for, right? And then the gap is just so wide between the low performers and the high performers that all the in between is just wasted money. It's just wasted money and it's wasted time. If you want to spend all your time trying to pour into low performers, which I understand. It's like you want them to win, but sometimes they are just at a capacity to where they just can't do the job. Now, this has happened numerous times to where we were at, let's say I was at a church and we were at like 800 people. We were about 15, 1700 people, and then it went up to 2000, and it went up to over 2000. And with that, you can easily start running into people who are good to lead at uh, a certain number, right, of an organization. But when that number starts to grow and those responsibilities start to grow and your teams need to be expanded, right? You need to have more events. You need to have more team members. You need to have a bigger budget. You need to have better administrative skills, clearer communication skills, right? Better problem solving skills, right? So these things start to amplify. And if you are pouring into low performers, you're actually going to stall your growth. It's just going to happen. And again, it's not to say that everybody's bad. It's just you have to recognize that some capacities are just that. They are capacities. So just remember that again is to invest in the high performers. So with that, the next thing I wanted to do, just really quick, is like leadership is not easy. Okay. A lot of people have books. A lot of people have podcasts, read a book. Oh man, I want to be a leader. I want to be a leader. But you, as a CEO, you completely understand that leadership is not always what it's cracked up to be. And these are some of the lessons that I've learned again over these past 11 years is like the leader does the hard things. And so when you are with your team, you are you're like you can easily see who is a high performer, who is a low performer. And you have to start really working through how do you want to handle this? Do you want to keep low performers around out of comfort, out of tradition, or do you want to make the decision that's best for them, but also best for the organization? Because is it really fair to somebody who literally can't do the job for you to keep them there when they're stressed out, overwhelmed, overworked, and they can't do it? No, that's not fair. All right. Okay. So let's do that one. All right. So then that brings me to number 6. The next one is this: kindness in departures. Okay. There are times where you have to let someone go. Now, again, it's not the easy thing, but it is required. There's been times to where I've gotten on a staff as the leader, and there was someone there, and they have been kind of doing things for quite some time that just isn't performing, just wasn't performing to the standards. And so you have to document those things, you have to work through those things, and you have to make adjustments. But the thing is, in leadership, is that you have to do it with kindness. And so as the team is here, right? As the team is leading and doing things, you have to transition for somebody who is being let go. You have to do it with kindness. You have to do it with a heart. You have to do it with understanding. And maybe there's some other options that we can work through. And nevertheless, even when you do it with kindness, listen, it doesn't mean that the person is going to be, oh man, that was great. Thank you so much. Okay. That they're probably either going to be maybe super angry, right? They're going to maybe or mad or whatever the case is, but you are responsible for you. Okay, you're not responsible for anybody else. You're responsible for you and how you react and what you say and what you do. And so that's one of the biggest things in regards to leadership is just be kind in the departures. It is one of the hard parts of leadership. And I'll never forget, I met with a mentor, and there was a situation in leadership where it was very evident that someone was just not performing at the pace and at the level they were required to. And it was quite some time. It was documented, it was communicated. It was one of those things where, hey, this is where we need to be. Do you understand? Hey, this is where we need to be. you're not there. What's going on? Hey, we all have this much time left. If you don't get to the right, it was very, very clear, and the decision had been made. And I remember I was talking to my mentor, and I was just telling him, I was like, man, this is just eating me up. This feels awful. This feels terrible. Why does it feel so bad to have to let people go in leadership? Everybody talks about how you want to build the team and scale. Let's scale. But at the same time, when you scale, you got to let go of some people who maybe can't meet you there. And I remember my mentor, he told me, he said, James, the moment that it gets easy to let people go is the moment you need to step out of leadership. The moment it gets easy to let people go is the moment you need to step out of leadership. Why? Because when you don't care about people, you don't care at all. Like you are not leading anybody. You needed to get out, right? Nobody wants an unempathetic leader. We all get like vision, like let's go fire, woo, let's get it done. But people are not numbers. They're not just titles. They are human beings, and you need to connect with them. So again, just kindness in the departures, and then one of the last ones. I have two more and some bonus ones. Is this as far as leadership lessons? Is this? This is a big one. Rest is a competency. Okay, this is the look. The work will always be waiting. The work never ends. Okay. If you are alive, then you're going to be working, right? If your organization is always working, you can have a day off, you can have a week off, a 30-day sabbatical, but it's like you got to come back and it's going to be working, right? Like you have to work. But with that is this very, very interesting, little dirty word that we try to stay away from in leadership is this is rest. You can be a very driven person and still rest. Rest doesn't mean that you're being lazy. Rest doesn't mean that you are quitting. Rest means that you are using wisdom in managing your energy, managing time with your family, managing time with yourself, time with God, and those things. However, most people, they just focus on the work. They focus on the work. But here's the thing, as you work through that, is this the rest has to be the center. You rest first and then you work. See, like the rest is the center, and then because of that rest, it actually helps you become a better worker, believe it or not. So if you don't rest, then you will burn out. And if you burn out, no one is there to help you. Why? Because we all have to take care of ourselves so that we can take care of other people. Now, here's the thing in regards to leadership. Rest is biblical. Rest is mandated. Because if you don't know how to rest, excuse me, if you don't know how to rest, then your team won't know how to rest. And then you're going to be stressed out, your team's going to be stressed. The thing is, again, there's always work to do. There's always going to be another order to fulfill. There's always going to be another email to reply to. There's always going to be another customer. There's always going to be another invoice. There's always maybe going to be a discrepancy. There's always going to be maybe a refund request, whatever the case is. So you have to understand to leave it there, go and rest, because it's going to be waiting for you when you get back. And I had to learn that the hard way because in the church world, Sunday is every 7 days. And so you could do this huge event on a Sunday. And then what do you know? What do you have in 7 days? Another Sunday. What? But we just did this big, massive, big thing. We got another one? Oh, and we have another one. Oh, right. So it was this big realization of like, oh, I really need to pace myself and learn how to navigate and manage my energy because Sunday is every 7 days. And it's literally the same thing in corporate. It's the same thing in your business. There's always another week. So if you have to manage your rest, it's extremely important. And if you don't, then you are going to let yourself down and your team down because no one wants to follow a leader that's on empty. Nobody. And that's only going to happen if you don't Prioritize your rest. This is what the book of Psalms says in, let me see, chapter 127, verse 2. It is in vain that you rise up early and go late to rest, eating the bread of anxious toil, for he gives to his beloved sleep. Rest, or you will not last long in leadership. All right. So there are two more bonuses that I just wanted to really. Uh, One of the other ones that I was going to put on here was just manage your self talk. Again, it's just one of those things as a leader that you have to really be mindful of your thinking, because when you are in a position of CEO, it can become very isolating in regards to the conversations that you have and that you cannot have with your team. You need to almost find like a peer or an advisor, someone else to speak to, because again, there's only so many things you can talk to your team about. All right, so the two bonus ones are this. Number one bonus is never quit on a bad day. Never quit on a bad day. There have been plenty of bad days, as you can imagine, in the 11 years of leadership that I've been in. Some very, very, very difficult seasons. And you have to understand that if you don't like there's a difference between like a job and a calling, right? So when you have a job, it's very transactional. I give you hours, you give me money. When you have a job that you are the CEO of, right? You go, I clock into my business, I help my team get paid, we meet payroll, I go home. But there's a difference between a job and a calling, because the job is more, it's more really external, because it really has nothing to do with you. There's no benefit outside of you get income, and then you do your deal. But a calling is very different, because a calling is very specific. A calling is something that's not of you, it is from God to you. It is this mission that's so much bigger than yourself. Now, I don't know if you're spiritual or not, or maybe you are Christian or not, or maybe you are just agnostic and you don't mind and you don't really bother. But for me, I am a person of faith. I am a pastor, right? I'm a Christian, and it's one of those things to where you have to understand that the calling is what will help you walk through some of the deepest, darkest seasons in your life, including your business, or maybe your marriage, or your finances, or your health. And so it's one of those things to never quit on a bad day. And that could be never quit in your family on a bad day, never quit your business on a bad day, never quit a relationship on a bad day. That is just a life lesson that has been such a blessing to me. And I heard it from a mentor of mine, another one, where he told me, because I was having a very, very difficult season. And I remember he told me, he said, James, never quit on a bad day. It just seemed like nothing was going right. There was conflict to the left, there was conflict to the right. I wasn't doing anything right, at least it felt that way. And everything just felt wrong. And I never forget, he told me on the phone, he said, James, never quit on a bad day. And I never forgot that. So I wanted to make sure that you got that. And then the last one, number two, the bonus of this whole thing about these 11 minutes of, excuse me, 11 years of leadership to you. The last one is this: when you don't know what to do next, just do the next right thing. When you don't know what to do next, do the next right thing. Now, why is that? Well, because with leadership, here's the thing with leadership. Yeah, there's this parallel, right? Of all of the good with leadership, right? You get to develop people, you get to help people, you get to see their skills just multiply, and then they go and start helping other people. So, and then also you get to just see the achievements of getting things done. You get to be a part of something that's growing and moving and helping and impacting. You get to see people's lives literally change before your eyes, and you have a part in that. Like, you literally are helping people transform. It's incredible. Leadership. It's such a blessing. It is a gift. At the same time, leadership is extremely difficult because there's also the bad, right? The tough, the hard things that come with leadership. And sometimes it can be betrayal, frustration, lies, anger, fear, worry, anxiety, stress. Sometimes you can be so stressed by decisions that you have to make that you can literally physically become sick. Now, the reason why I want to walk through this last one again, which is when you don't know what to do, just do the next right thing, is because these in seasons, right? In seasons, and sometimes you have like a high season, like man, things are great, and then you could go like down to a valley, right? Before you got to go back up. But it's in these seasons where things are at their lowest. When you are at your lowest and you don't know what to do, it feels like your business is about to shut down, your marriage is about to implode, your kids hate you, your friends have disowned you, and you don't know where to go, you don't know what to do. You thought you'd love this business and it has just turned on you. You feel alone. You can't hear God. You don't know what to do. Here's what you do. When you don't know what to do, you just do the next right thing. Just do the next right thing. Now, you may try to want to do all the steps. Yeah, but what if what, but I got to do, I got to do all that. No, 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 no. Just do the next right thing. Like, just take the next step. Don't worry about trying to figure it all out. Just do the next right thing. And that has helped me with clarity in so many difficult seasons of leadership. Now, as a CEO or as a leader in your organization, that there are going to be good times, but there are also going to be some really, really tough times. And when those happen, just do the next right thing. Now, this list isn't comprehensive, but these are the best of the best for you in your leadership. Again, all the way from 800 people to being at a church over 2,000 with the things that I've done, the experience that I have, these several things have just catapulted my leadership. They've increased my capacity, and I know they will do the same for you. They will help your business and they will help your team so that you're not just leading for 11 years, but you will lead for many more.